Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome. I am Carol Hillman. I'm a member of your board of your trustees here at MLUC. It's great to have you with us this morning, both in the sanctuary and online. Today, our minister is Reverend John Morehouse, and our Director of Learning and Family Ministries is Dawn Stars Sarahs Borschelt. Our worship associate is Bob Barker, and our music today is brought to you by our very own MLUC choir. This time together is the centerpiece of our communal life. Here we can let go, be held, be challenged, as we share and reflect on life's journey. Through song and story, silence and spoken word, we open our minds and our hearts to a place of deeper understanding. Together, we strive to nurture a loving community that supports us in our individual spiritual growth and empowers us to work for justice in the world. Every voice and every heart is welcome and enriches our community. Special welcome to visitors today. Following the service, everyone is invited to the fireside for coffee, refreshments, and conversation. Visitors, please join us. We want to get to know you. Please silence your electronic devices as we state our mission together. Together, we transform lives through love, service, and our welcoming faith.
After struggling all day, up ever worsening roads and pathways into the high plains of Peru, he stepped out into the moonless night. There was no man-made light for 200 miles, and the darkness of the night flowed around him like an invisible river. He could feel the ancient spirits of the Inca embedded in the darkness. He liked the darkness. It matched his mood of late. He smiled a bit ruefully as the spirits touched him. They seemed to question his very existence, and he had no answer for them. Finally, he looked up at the night sky above him, at the brilliant specks of light of the unnumbered stars. In the clear, dark night, they seemed so close. Surely if he reached up far enough, he could have one of the stars for himself, to light the darkness of his own life. A foolish thought, but still he raised his hand. And for a moment, he thought he could feel the touch of the starlight resting softly in the palm of his hand. Perhaps, he thought, if you need a light in your darkness, you may just need to reach a little farther. We now invite you to rise in body or spirit as we sing the opening hymn. It is hymn number 142, Let There Be Light. It's in the gray hymnal. The words are also projected behind me.
One afternoon, Jamie was playing in the backyard. He was riding a broom, pretending it was a horse. He was having a wonderful time and rode the broom until it was dark. He left the broom on the back porch and went inside for supper. A while later, his mother noticed the broom was missing and she needed it, and she said, "Jamie, would you go out to the porch and get the broom?" He didn't know about that. He didn't really want to go out into the dark. His mother said, "Well, you know how I feel about putting things away once you've used them. I need you to go outside and get the broom." And then she said, "Jamie, honey, this is nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to be afraid of on the porch. When you're afraid and you need something, all you do is ask Jesus for help." "Is Jesus outside in the dark on the porch?" said Jamie. "Whenever and wherever you are scared and need his help, Jesus will be there for you. He'll protect you in the dark." Jamie was a little unsure about this. "Really? Are you sure?" She insisted that Jesus was always there to help. There was nothing to be afraid of. So hesitant and with trepidation, he moved slowly towards the door. When he got there, he opened the door partially, and then he said, "Jesus, if you're out there, would you please hand me the broom?" We've all asked for stranger things from Jesus, I think, in one time or another in our lives, or for some other force in our lives to make the world better. Fear of the dark has been with us through all the ages, from our earliest beginnings as a species, and like all fears, it is traced to the survival of life and death. Most of us probably feel fairly secure in this season, if not in mind and at least in body, for shelter and food. Dark is usually defined as the absence of light. That's often how it is put. But as I'll explain more next week, there is more light than you see when you look into the dark. There are literally many more bands of light than what our eyes see. So why then is this darkest time of the year in our hemisphere, when every day is getting shorter and shorter, every daylight is getting shorter and shorter, why do we call it the season of light? Because darkness gives birth to light. As my colleague Philip Schumann said, when Luke's angels appear to the shepherds in the field on that holy night, and his first words are, "Fear not," what was there to be afraid of? Probably a great deal. I would think that glowing angels coming out of the sky probably would make anyone a little afraid, especially in a world that didn't have an explanation for things such as light and its appearance suddenly in the dark. But this is often what is said in the Bible, those two words, fear not. Despite the snares and struggles of life, despite our intelligence alerts now to the dangers of the world, our ancestors still are in our veins. From generation to generation, we look to the vastness of heavens and we wonder, is there light? Now, of course, we measure our lives through biology and through the sciences. We understand ourselves as coming from an evolutionary line. We love to study the spectacular landscapes of all the world and all the power within it and all the worry that is also there. But fear not, despite the darkness, light is abounding out for all that we make, for the literal light now we carry largely in our pockets or on our persons, right? You have actually a flashlight, most of you. It's a little annoying at times because it buzzes off and wakes us up in the middle of the night. But from candles to the cell phones to all the various other things that light up our sky, maybe there is too much light. Fear not the light within you. Fear instead perhaps too much light without you. One of the reasons we sing Christmas carols is to put our light out through song. That's one of the reasons we do this. The familiarity of the song gives us comfort and joy, right? So today, as we often do this holiday season, as this part of the service comes to the close, we're going to ask you to sing on your way out. Off key. I don't care. Loud is best. One of my favorite Christmas carols is Jingle Bells. Jingle Bells was written by James Pierpont in 1857. It was originally entitled The One-Horse Open Sleigh. Why was it that? Because it was considered a love song in the Victorian times. A one-horse sleigh could only fit two people. No chaperones allowed. And off we go. Pierpont's own life was not one of abiding joy and light abounding. He was plagued by financial ruin and alcoholism. He left his children and his wife, moved around the country, eventually settling in with his brother, a Unitarian minister in Savannah, Georgia. And there he slowly put his life back together. We sing this song today and we ring the bells as a reminder that there is light within us, that life abounds within us. That there's a second chance, always a second chance to live life a little differently. Life abounds when we let go of what is keeping us in the dark, right? Indeed, in Pierpont's life, something had to give before something came to be. Something is always dying and something is always being reborn. This is the way of the universe. Yes, there are dangers and hardships involved in birth. There always are. Every season has its pain. Each wave of blossoms passes. Each leaf falls. Each spring gives to summer and summer to fall and fall to winter. But life still abounds, I think, because of the darkness. So none of us, therefore, friends, are immune to the heartache. There are ghosts of Christmas past through all of our lives, solstice past, if you prefer, or Hanukkah past. We think of our dearly departed. We think of those who are no longer with us, old acquaintance not be forgotten. Sometimes we think of people who we're estranged from, and we grieve the loss. Even people who really love the holidays sometimes experience melancholy. Sometimes all that ho, ho, ho becomes oh, oh, oh. And maybe you're feeling that way today, especially in this environment in which we live. The world just seems full of madness, right? But light still abounds. Regardless of the madness, there are people who do good things in the world. And if you're in trouble, don't hesitate to reach out. Light actually invites us to embrace the dark. All the traditions bring greenery inside. Did you know that? All of these traditions of the light season. Because we know greenery reminds us of life and light itself. And the red we wear, the red is so vibrant because it says stop and look at the season before you. The dark days pass. Life will go on. I close with this poem from Hafiz. One day the sun admitted that I am just a shadow. I wish I could show you the infinite incandescence that has cast my brilliant image. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. Light abounds, dear ones, especially now. So may it be.
Each month, MLUC selects an offering outreach partner, a local charity with whom we will share half of what we collect during the Sunday service offering. The partner recipient in December is Rock to the Future. Jessica Kraft founded Rock to the Future in 2010 to provide free music education and support to under-resourced youth in Philadelphia. Beyond music, it provides academic support, career guidance, and essential resources, helping students and their families overcome challenges and thrive. The organization serves hundreds of students each year at schools, community venues, and juvenile justice facilities. One student comments, "It's not just about learning music, it's about becoming the best version of yourself." If you wish to donate online, follow the instructions that you see on the screen behind me. If you are in the sanctuary and would like to make a cashless donation, you can scan the QR code that is on the order of service. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Next, we have fun. As our final music, the choir is going to lead us out of the room on Jingle Bells. This is the important part that you need to know. They're going to lead us all the way out of the room, all the way to the McGinnis room around the corner. Because we need everybody out of this room so we can set it up for holiday workshop. In a minute, I have some jingle bells and I need some helpers, but I'm going to tell you a few other things before we get to that. So there are vendors and craft tables throughout the first floor. Once you've gotten to the McGinnis room, you can stay and listen to the choir. You can visit some of the tables in that room, or you can check out the tables in the atrium and the fireside room, and then once this room is set up, it will be obvious and you can come in and check out these tables as well. We are here till 1:30. Do as many things as you like. There is finger food and cookies and warm beverages in the fireside room, and there's more food coming in a little while when it's closer to lunchtime. If you signed up to help with the table and you don't remember what you're supposed to be doing, the chart is on the wall next to the big screen in the atrium. And if you still don't know what you're supposed to be doing, come find me or Rebecca Pulse. Rebecca, are you in here or are you out? Rebecca's at the back there. That's Rebecca. Rebecca did so much work. It's a multi-person effort, but Rebecca really spearheaded it and did a lot of work, so I'm very grateful to her. And we will help you figure out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. Now, another body of people who have been a lot of help is that there are people, I don't know who they are, but there are people who've been helping organize the contents of the music library room downstairs. And one of the things they've done is they've identified all of our jingle bells, because there are random percussion instruments spread throughout the building, really. And so we have a bunch of jingle bells, and what we'd like to do is, if I could get some helpers, we're gonna go, you know how sometimes the minister and maybe me or some other people stand right outside the doors as people leave to like shake their hands and stuff? Well, we need you to go to the McGinnis room, so we're not shaking hands, but me and some kids are gonna give out jingle bells so you can jingle along to the McGinnis room, okay? So, do I have a few kids who would like to help me with that? Come on up and we'll get some jingle bells and go.
So that's the equivalent of changing water into wine for us, or coffee into eggnog. This was about to happen right here. It's this very you. If you're visiting with us, we do this fun stuff all the time. Well, we try anyway. I offer this benediction, closing words before we get merry. Wherever you are, wherever you go, wherever your light comes from, we call you to love. To see the moon silvering the night sky, to let the dark of midnight plunge you to your truest self and fling you back out again, to a world that needs you just as you are, to a world that knows, despite the sadness and the heartache that is around us and in our lives, there is still much to celebrate. There is life that is still coming out. As there were wise people following a star to the east, and a child to teach us the magic of love, so let our imaginations go wild, and let Christmas arrive with all its enchantments, and the presence of the holy crowd out hate and invite love in. With that, friends, let us recess.